You're on Candid Camera. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Hey Sister. Hey, sister, how you doing?
It's been a long weekend. It's been a long weekend. A lot of people going to glory. A lot of stuff happening.
Absolutely. It has been a long weekend, and we are going to talk about it tonight. We are excited to be joined by our guest, Mr. Russell Drake, and we will introduce him more later. But I want to tell you all, you can get involved in the show this evening in the comments. So we want to hear from you tonight. We're on the bottom of your screen there. It says, join the conversation in the comments. If you're watching this in a watch party on my page or a watch party on Russell or Christina's page, the best way to get the full experience is to watch it in the Hey Sister page. That way your comments will come up live on the screen and we can add them to the broadcast. And so we're super excited tonight to be joined by Mr. Russell Drake. How you doing, Russell?
Good evening, and let me say happy Mother's Day to you two dynamic women who are mothers, aunts, and just provide motherly affection to so many through your works and deeds, and I'm vocalizing on this means. So I'm thankful for all mothers. Happy Mother's Day. I don't think I can say anything else. I'm born of a woman who is a wonderful woman. And I'm everything I am because of my mom, my grandma, my great-grandmas, and everybody else. So women, it is your day. But I think every day we should honor you properly.
Amen, bro. I can't let. Let's just go ahead on and give that shout out right there. And if you're a mother out there, we too say Happy Mother's Day. So whether you are a mother in the sense that you actually gave birth or you play the role, you're an adoptive mother, auntie, hey, you might just a teacher, you might be a concerned friend, a mentor, anyone who plays the role of mothers. This is a day to salute and celebrate you. We appreciate the work that you do and the contributions you make in the lives of others. And so we want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Yes.
Yes. So tonight is a night of hot topics. So it is now May, and it is May 10th. And on January 1st, did either of you expect this is what May 10th, 2020 would look like? The death of Kobe Bryant, coronavirus, murder hornets. I mean, so now we have more hot topics to talk about, but it's like, can we just for a moment just say, damn, 2020. Y'all ain't got nothing to say to that.
It's totally unexpected. You know, it's when you look at it, right, it's a new decade, right? It's a new decade. Here we are 1/5 of the way through the century. So, you know, we thought it would be very exciting. You know, we're moving forward. We have platforms like this one, and, you know, you got cars that are driving themselves, and, you know, we just thought it was going to be a wonderful year. And, you know, it's so cliche that, you know, without vision, the people will perish. So, you know, we got lack of vision at the top and people are perishing. So it's you know, I smile so I don't cry, but no, I didn't expect this at all. It's wild.
Yeah. Sister, what about you?
I think Russell summarized that very nicely. I think we thought 2019 was so rough, and we wanted so much to get to 2020, and that we had so much excitement and just anticipation about this year of vision. And like I said before, none of us could have envisioned any of this. So you said as of January 1st, hell, on May 1st, I couldn't have envisioned all this happening by May 10th. It's like every day wants to one up the next day, like hold my beer because I'm coming. So I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, one of the things that we woke up to over the last couple of days is the transition of some musical icons in our community. And I mean, this morning, you know, after we had come off the high of the Verzuz battle, you know, we started that day off a little rough as well, right? When we learned of the transition of Andre Harrell as well as Little Richard. And I was like, "Ooh, this is heavy. This is heavy." But the love and the light that came from Erykah Badu and Jill Scott, and we're going to talk more about their battle last night. I was like, "Woo, okay, feeling good." And then to wake up to hear about the transition of the cleanup woman herself. Tonight is the night. Miss Betty Wright, no pain, no gain. I mean, my heart just skipped a beat. And so from the words of Erykah Badu, I want to say safe journey to our legends. But I know, sister, you know, Betty Wright with a bounce beat in New Orleans is always on time and at every party, right?
Betty Wright is always on time for me, regardless of the situation. And like I said, when I heard the words Betty Wright died, I was like, what? And the first words that came to me, it was, there was an old lady sitting under the tree. She called me over and she said to me, my days left here may not be long. I wouldn't waste my time telling you nothing wrong. And I just was like, wow. I mean, and I know, look, every day people transition and everybody is someone special to somebody, right? Mm-hmm. But I think it's one of those things that as you get older and the people who are mean the most to you are, let me not say mean the most to you, hold on, let me fix that. The people who have been fixtures in your life since you were growing up, even if you don't know them, right? So like a few months ago, Jeanette Dubois passed away, right? And it's like, well, well, long ago in the glory, you know, it's just one of those things where it's that reminder that you're getting older because the things that you once knew as customary, if you will, are now different. Like Andre Harrell, you know, Little Richard always saying how his place in rock and roll history, his place in just music history in general, and how he never really got the props that he deserved. And then you see somebody like Betty Wright, who really and truly is very dear to us in our community, but how popular is she really, you know, worldwide or globally? So it's just one of those feelings that all the things that you once knew and felt comfortable with, just they're changing, and that's uncomfortable.
I don't know. For me also, I just, you know, outside of Little Richard being 87, I was like, you know, he had been in this so long. I expected him to be older, right? Because he started so young. You know, Betty Wright was 14 when she first put out her first record, you know? And when she did, I think when she did Tonight is the Night, I think our Cleanup Woman, she was 18. You know, she was, I was like, so much talent, so much strength and force in that voice at such a young age. I think that, you know, she was 66, Andre Harrell, you know, Uptown Records, Motown Records executive, 59. I mean, I don't know, Russell, I don't know, what do you think? I mean, for me, those are just like sobering.
No, you know, there are cultural icons of, you know, if you look at it, Little Richard spans back to the 1940s. You know, here's an innovator, literally the founder of rock and roll, You know, rhythm and blues, you know, came about because of him too. I mean, here's the man who literally founded James Brown and put James Brown on to be the man he was, as well as putting on a lot of other folks throughout, you know, Mick Jagger and so on. I mean, he's, you know, I mean, here's the man. He always did these interviews where he would talk about, you know, they never give me my credit. They stole everything from me. He took a hit for the whole race. He really did in the music industry. He took a hit. Now there were other people who took hits as well, but he, you know, he took the biggest hit initially himself, and he soldiered for so many people. And you know, he, you know, it's like in his nature, in his I think his passionate nature, he, you know, people, you know, they laughed at him a lot, but he was dead serious about a lot of things. You know, he was dead serious and right on point. Andre Harrell, here's a man that rose to the ranks, not just in music, but even over the producing and TV shows and things of that sort. So here's a man that, you know, paved the way. There is no P. Diddy without him. There's no Notorious B.I.G. without him. There is no excelling of Russell Simmons, Master P, Dr. Dre without him. Seeing this culture in the boardroom is what paved the way for many others. So, you know, it is sad. I was totally shocked. He was just tweeting. And then, poof, you know, it used to be you're here one day, gone the next. But now it's you here one day, you gone the same day. And, you know, I was just shocked and floored by it. And then you have Betty Wright. I mean, everybody talks about her, you know, being a cleanup woman, but she wasn't just a cleanup woman. You know, she's far greater than that. You know, she, you know, that her song Tonight Is the Night, that, I mean, I think that song is her most prolific song where she's touching and relating to people, not just in the Black culture, but I think people all across the world. So, you know, you have greatness, and it's like if you live long enough, not only do you have friends pass away, but you see legends and icons. You know, bear in mind, 11 years ago, Michael Jackson was buried, you know. Only 16 years ago, Ray Charles passed away. I mean, you know, these are icons. These are legends. And, you know, it's like, it's sad because these are the people, we don't know them personally, but we remember how they made us feel and how they may have even helped us get to know ourselves. So we got love for them from afar. And it's sad, but we just know that, you know, legends go, some of them go old, 87, some of them go young, 59, some of them even go younger than that. But we're just glad for what they left in the body of work. And they make timeless music and creations. So they're still with us in some sense.
Absolutely. And so in the words of Erykah Badu, I say safe journey to our legends. You will live on forever and certainly be with us in your art. And we thank you for that. And, you know, like you said, 4 years ago, my favorite, Mr. Prince Rogers Nelson, also transitioned. And that one really took me back. But we started a little bit talking about the Verzuz battle. So I want to thank Swizz Beatz and Timbaland for coming up with this concept, putting it together, calling their friends to do it. You know, a couple of weeks ago, the first night debacle of Teddy Riley and Babyface, like I said, it was the comedy that we needed. Like that at that point in time, a couple of weeks ago, we needed that level of comedy, the memes, everything that came out of that night. Our souls needed it. Last night with Erykah Badu and Jill Scott, I don't know, my soul needed every bit of that energy. The love, the respect, mutual admiration, support. Girl, how you doing homeschooling your kids? I mean, all the things that they were talking about, it was like we needed that moment. And we also needed that moment, I think, to show that, you know, when we support one another, what magical things can happen. And there was it was like, no, they tried to pit us against each other. That's not who we are. And it was like, it was a celebration of so much light and love and energy. I was high all off of that evening, and just so many things that I take away. Sister, I don't know, when you got into the battle, when you watched it, what's your takeaway?
Well, like I said, my key. Well, first of all, I went into it, so I was late. I was late, guys. I had a rough day yesterday. And so I went into it already being like, I can't pick a winner between Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. That's how I went into it. Feeling that I can't pick a winner. They're both great in their own right. They both have contributed so much to music, and I loved the fact that they were so complimentary to one another. I loved hearing the stories about how certain songs transitioned into what they became. I love that. I mean, Michelle Obama, Adele, Rihanna, like some heavy hitters hit the comments. You know what I'm saying? And that made me say, wow, again, there's adoration for the work that is being done by these two sisters. And, you know, compared to some others, right? They are not at the same superstar status as some others, but it's not for lack of talent or creativity, ingenuity, songwriting ability, all of those things. But I think my number one thing was I just would like Erykah Badu, again, to open a school, because I need to attend the Erykah Badu School of Inner Peace. I need to get to that level of not giving any damns, that level of just no conception of time. Like 2 hours, we've been here 2 hours, girl. What is that? I ain't got no concept of time. You know, I want to get to that place of shouting out my 3 baby daddies, and just it's all good because there is so much love there. And you know, since I was telling you that DOC is married and he has his wife, he was having a child, and Erykah Badu actually delivered or helped deliver their baby. It's like that's the level of evolved spirit I need to get to, where, you know, I can help deliver I don't have any kids, but if I did, my
deliver your exes,
sister or brother, you know. So those were the beautiful things. And I was telling you, for one of the funniest moments for me in the comments. So there are so many comments, and if you catch them, you good, because they go by so fast. But you know, when they were shouting out all the folks who have influenced them, Minnie Riperton, Nina Simone, Shaka Khan, etc. And Dion Cole wrote in the comments, Tasha from Bone Thugs and Harmony. That about took me out. So it was definitely a beautiful, beautiful night. And I think the culture definitely won last night. The 700,000 plus people who got to join in live, and the many more who have joined since.
Yes, we got a couple comments here. One from Rosalind says, I love to hear the backstory about the song. Was it Long Walk? I don't know. They talked about so many songs. And she also says she's agreed. She want to enroll in that school with you, Christina. So I love the backstory. Just even hearing that, you know, how Jill wrote the hook and You Got Me, but and the Roots had Erykah singing because Erykah was the known artist at the time. But then when she wasn't there for a show, Jill sang it, and that was used to introduce the world to Jill on her Who Is Jill Scott, that first album, right?
And also the story, the Long Walk story too, but even Erykah saying that Love of My Life was inspired by Commons, I Used to Love Her. And it actually was Commons, I Used to Love Her. Then it was the Roots did hip hop, or I Love Hip Hop, or something like that. And then she did Love of My Life. And they were all inspired by Commons, I Used to Love Her. So you know.
And even Common was giving her a shout out. Erykah has got some magic.
She sure does. She has true Black girl magic.
And I have on my Black Girl Magic shirt on today for that reason. What do you say, Russell? What's your takeaway from the battle? Did you enjoy it?
I loved it. It was so needed for the soul of all of us. There were over 600K people on there, and that doesn't even include the people who are also filming and putting on YouTube. So I estimate about 900,000 people tuned in and absorb the culture and soulfulness and seeing the sisterliness right on Mother's Day weekend, mind you. I think it was, like you said, it was long overdue and needed. Here we have been in a crisis, a worldwide pandemic, and, you know, people were scared, uncertain. But that was the most soothing 3 hours I think I had the entire time since March. And, you know, it was so good. I found myself here with, you know, with incense lit, with shades on. You know, I had on my, you know, my old stuff I used to wear to the neo soul spot here. I had on my plaid shirt, you know, I had on my ripped jeans, you know, I had on some sandals. I was just sitting there, you know, had on my liberation bead. I was just, you know, I was just absorbing the moment. You know, I don't drink anymore, but I was sipping on vegetable juice. I was just in it, you know, and the songs were wonderful. I mean, the whole atmosphere was good. And you have two classic women. And I think the thing that Jill Scott said at the end is so prolific and profound, where she said, the culture wins. The culture won. People say who won the battle. The culture wins. That's it. That's all that matters. You know, and I just love that about them. And I think, you know, the snafu that Teddy Riley and Babyface had the first time, that was so unexpected and made for hysterical memes that I partook in extremely immediately that same night and shared with different folks like Roland Martin. And, you know, we made stuff go viral, and it was humor for 48 straight hours until they did it again. And it just showed that that many people were tuned in and linked in. And it was clean humor. You know, it wasn't any bad humor. It was clean humor. Teddy Riley even laughed about it. He thought, wow, I've never been mean before. And, you know, I don't even think he saw all of them, but it was, you know, it was good. But it's like you come from that humor, and then you can't, I don't think you could have gone any better last night. I mean, it was flawless, as flawless could be. And I just loved it, you know, powerful Black women. To the Black woman, I mean, you know, just start snapping. You know what? I'm getting teary. Hold on. Okay, I'm good. I'm good.
Can I say one other thing real quickly? Because I did forget to mention that I think the end was so apropos when Jill Scott played "Cross My Mind" in honor of Andre Harrell, and that I know that is a song about a past love, but it definitely gave new meaning to that song. You know, and it will make me think about it very differently now moving forward. And by the way, remember a few weeks ago when I said I made the joke that Babyface and Teddy Riley should have started their battle with new songs that they should have wrote over the weekend. Well, Babyface did write a song for his friend Andre Harrell.
Yes, he did. And I listened to it because today he was supposed to go on live with the celebration of Mother's Day with the Waiting to Exhale album and bring that live music to us. But he said he wasn't strong enough. He thought he could do it, but he was like, I can't do it right now. I'm not in the mental space. And he played that song for Andre Harrell. And I'm just like, you know, he did that overnight. You know, so that tells you about the power of the pen and when you're moved and how you can move others. And that brother has talent, and so does that sister. Mm-hmm. And so let's speak of some other people that have talent. Before we get into the real heavy stuff, let's talk about our forever first lady and 44 are coming back for us. So I don't know about y'all, but on May 16th, it's my graduation. If you're watching right now, tell us if you graduating on May 16th, because I'm going to be ready to see Barack and Michelle Obama on May 16th at 2:30. They have Show Us Your Walk, which is the HBCU edition. Then there'll be a commencement speech later, and then on the 20th there's another commencement speech, and I am here for it. If ever there was a time, now President Obama has really been in the cut, and I know, Russell, you're involved in the politics, and you probably like, okay, brother, you've been in the cut a little too long. We respect your privacy. We respect that you don't want to So for them to be doing this graduation ceremony, I don't know what you think about that, Russell.
I'm good with it. I think President Obama is the best president the United States of America has ever seen. I know Michelle Obama, Attorney Michelle Obama, is the most educated First Lady of the United States that we've ever seen. So they put in a lot of work, time, effort, sweat equity over an 8-year span. Their children grew up. They're beautiful young ladies pursuing higher education, and they deserve this break. You know, you have one president at a time around here. I understand that, you know, we definitely had a desperate plea for leadership, but hey, at the moment we have, you know, the idiot in chief. So, you know, I think they deserve this much needed break. I can't ask them to do anything because they gave everything and more and took every bit of criticism and scrutiny and dealt with it with such class, professionalism, better than most of us, certainly better than me. And they showed us, you know, how to have a candor and continue to move forward, advance your agenda, and not let anybody completely stifle you or stop you. So I totally, I think, you know, the time off that they've had, more power and respect to them. I think it's wonderful that they've come back and they'll be able to bless the class of 2020, and all of us will be tuning in like we're graduating because I mean, I'm telling you up front, I'm going to be sending an email like, yeah, I'm graduating, you know, but just to hear them.
Says I'm not having my 20th college reunion this year. I'm here for the Obamas. Yes, this year is my 25th college reunion, and our festivities for homecoming 2020 are already been announced. They're going to be postponed. So I'm going to be in it to win it on those days and celebrating. But I will say, I don't know who the parent is. I'd have to go look it up. It's been shared a lot on social media. The father, I think it's in Memphis, who gave his daughter a Xavier graduation. If y'all haven't seen that on Facebook or Instagram, I mean, he had a podium with the seal. He put a stage up, the backdrop, and had 2 chairs on the stage, had a program made out. And I just said, it just warmed my heart to see that, because seeing what people are doing to create experiences for their children at this time, I just applaud all of you, because your hard work and your efforts are the same, whether or not you have that ceremony. So, sister, what you have to say about the graduation?
Well, I agree. I mean, to your point about the Xavier, I had not seen the Xavier graduation, but I have said to all of my friends who do have seniors that are graduating, if I haven't said it to them directly, I'm saying it to them now. So hopefully they're watching. You should absolutely do something special for your senior. My high school graduation was 25 years ago on the 26th of this month, I believe it is, 26th, 29th, one of the 2 days. But yeah, so 25 years ago, I graduated from high school, and that is a special time. Now, you know, at that time, I was really excited about going to college, and I went to, it was the 29th, because I started college on like June 6th, that summer school. So it's a very special time, and I do think you should do something. I've seen, I believe it was in Slidell, maybe, I think, where they had a parade, and they had the students in their moon roofs or sun roofs of the car, and they just had their students in their cap and gown. Everybody was in their respective vehicles, and they were out, you know, standing up through the moon roofs. Whatever you do, you absolutely should honor them. That said, Barack and Michelle Obama, I mean, you can't get better graduation commencement speakers than Barack and Michelle Obama. And so, as I was saying earlier, I just recently joined an Adopt a Senior group from our hometown. And, you know, some folks made mention of this, posted about it. And yeah, there were still some folks, I will call a thing because You know, Charlotte last week told us we need to call it out. So there were some white people who had angry faces on the post. And for one of them, the comments had to be closed down. And for the other one, the moderator had to say, listen, if you don't have something nice to say, if you don't like it, just scroll past. But for me, I'm like, what is it about Barack and Michelle Obama giving a commencement speech that you could possibly not like? Is it the complete sentences? Perhaps it's the use of proper English. Perhaps it is, you know, giving a good sentence, you know, and or sentence structure or stories, or what is it about them speaking that you could possibly have a problem with? Because I can assure you that they're not going to politicize it. They don't have to. They've already been president and first lady. If Michelle Obama had wanted to run for president of the United States, she absolutely could have. So they don't have to politicize a commencement speech. This is about two very accomplished people who are giving their time back to make the class of 2020 feel something special. And if you, as a parent, can't appreciate that, then something's wrong with you. And you need to really ask yourself, as a white person, because I'm calling a thing a thing, if it angers you that Barack and Michelle Obama are giving a commencement speech, you need to ask yourself why.
Well, I know this. In 2006, there was a then senator who was the commencement speaker at Xavier University of Louisiana for the Katrina class. And I missed that because I was very pregnant at the time. We have a cousin who graduated that year. And when I found out that he spoke, I was really, really hurt that I did not make it. But I am here for it. And if anybody has a problem, a challenge, again, don't tune in. I mean, really?
Well, again, really? If you can sit and listen to Donald Trump speak, and that doesn't, and great, I mess up sentences too, but if that doesn't just like irritate your body, if that doesn't get under your skin and feel like, you know, and
what you going over there for, Russell? You just shaking your head like
I mean, just like ants crawling all over your body when you hear him speak. If you don't have that reaction, you definitely you'll be all right if you listen to Barack and Michelle.
Yeah. No, I'm just disgusted. I'm disgusted whenever I hear the name Trump. That's why I have to. But I mean, to your point, I mean, so you know, like you said, everybody knows President Obama and Attorney Obama are wonderful speakers. You know, I mean, they're wonderful speakers. They bring energy, they bring motivation, they bring upliftment. The people that are hating on them are doing it because they know it's gonna be impressive. It'll boost people up, and they'll say, "Wow, they're great." And they see the polar opposites in the White House right now. So, you know, they never want to give the man credit for being great, nor his wife credit for being great. And, you know, people hate on it. Is it racial? I think most of it is. But it's also some people that are just unhappy with successful folks. And here you have two of the most successful people to ever walk the face of the earth. Just great, all around great people, caring, compassionate, real, relatable, not just to blacks, but to all people. Don't come from wealthy backgrounds, who've worked their way up, are able to reach people. It's like when we set a high standard and we meet the mark, then you see the standards kind of go out the window. You know, no standards matter anymore. Oh, you don't have to be remotely articulate. You don't have to even use subject and verb agreement. You don't have to have facts and data that matter. You know, you don't have to show your taxes or anything of that sort. Oh, you know, scandals are just blah, blah, blah. Mind you, a man was in the White House 8 years and had no scandals. no accusations, no snippet of anything. You know, the closest to him was coming at the Secretary of State, who only served one term. But they don't, you don't give him credit. Here's a man that reformed the criminal justice system as best he could with people working against him. Here's a first lady that felt like we needed to do something about obesity in youth and push the healthy eating initiative that, that's been undone allegedly for financial problems. Mind you, we just spent $2 trillion bailing out big businesses. So, it's, but yeah, I think people are in for a treat. I'm going to tune in for a treat. I don't care what is required for me to tune in for a treat. If that's on my work hours or whatever, I am going to be hearing the lady.
Uh-oh. Oh, we lost your sound, Russell.
Hey, Russell.
I don't know. Did your bug?
Am I back? Yeah, I think, yeah.
You're back.
No. I think somebody tried to call me.
Okay.
Am I back?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But like I say, I'm looking forward though to hearing it. And I think many people are, even as well. Many of the people that hate you actually admire you. They actually know you're good. Nobody hates somebody who's totally no good or not at any level. You don't think about that. It's like, yeah, all right, I don't think about this vagabond. I'm just not thinking about him. But they know, wow, look at that talent. Look at that profile. Look at that delivery. Look at that energy. So they know it's greatness. That's why they continue to hate, because it's like, he's great and nobody can stop him. She's greater than him. She's a better speaker. What is this, and it's like, nobody wants to admit it. It's like, who's going to come out and say, there's a madman in the White House, nobody wants to say it.
I was going to say, on my watch party here, there's a comment for someone who was in that audience in 2006 at Xavier. She says, Senator Obama was a great speaker. I wish I had recorded him. Of course, I have pictures, but her son was one of those who was receiving his diploma then. And I'm sure that they all walked away inspired. Let's get into one of our heavier hot topics for this evening, since this is the evening of hot topics. And I think it's a good segue from, the conversation about the Obamas and their uplift and all what they contributed to the United States of America during their 8 years in office, and how we're seeing the unraveling of that, and talk about the Ahmaud Arbery case in Brunswick, Georgia. Now, for those of you who do not know or hadn't seen this, this is another case of a young Black man who was out running, and two men, perhaps three, the third as an accomplice who filmed it, shot him. They went after him. They thought he looked like someone who burglarized the neighborhood, even though the incident where someone was walking through a model home or a home that was under construction, there is no law against, like, if you see a model home or a house under construction, for you to go walk in and look. Nonetheless, they decided to pursue him with their rifles. And then when approached him aggressively, there was a altercation that ensued, and then he was shot in the back. And this happened in February. So when we read about it, the day my husband and I read about it, I was like, wait a minute, this happened in February, and then the video came out. And it was just like, I don't know. Russell, we're going to let you go first on this one.
Okay. First of all prayers and condolences go out to the family of Ahmaud Arbery. It is a tragedy and totally unexpected. So I extend sincere prayers to his mom, his dad, his brothers, his sisters, cousins, and loving friends, and all those in that community. Here's a man who's 25 years young and would have been 26 on Friday, out for a jog, out for a workout in broad daylight, a former football star in Brunswick, and assaulted, followed two people with shotguns, and one guy bold enough to record it. Like, this is normal. So it's I'm utterly disgusted, enraged in a sense. Absolutely. I'm so glad that Attorney Ben Crump has gotten on top of it, because had he not, it wouldn't even got to our attention. Like you said, this happened February 23rd. It took 74 days to arrest some people who shot a man with no weapon. 74 days. That's 2.5 months. All kind of evidence could be lost. The weapons could be discarded. Anything, the clothes. There's so much stuff. It's unbelievable. So I looked into it after hearing about it. So first I found out it wasn't in Brunswick, it was right outside of Brunswick. So because Brunswick just got their first black mayor like 8 years ago. And so I was ready to just, call up there and lay into them. But then I realized it was outside of Brunswick. So it wasn't their jurisdiction where it occurred. But as I looked more into it and found out it was the state attorney called the police and said, do not arrest these people. It turns out the father used to work in the district attorney's office, used to be an investigator for them. So here you have somebody knowing that I'm doing wrong. I mean, this isn't like a traffic ticket, this is murder. A person is dead with done nothing wrong. This isn't even law enforcement who's done it. These are just regular citizens who decided, I'm going to take the law into my own hands and do whatever I want and not worry about the circumstances. I'm telling you right now, if somebody approaches me with 2 shotguns, I'm telling you, the fight's gonna happen. The fight's gonna happen. Somebody's going down. I'm in it to win it from the start, and I think that's the same thing. Somebody comes at you with 2 shotguns, you've started a deadly incident, whether you realize it or not. As soon as you draw those guns, everything that happens after that is your fault. Now with me, I totally intend on getting that weapon and shooting the person. But if there are 2 people with the gun, they got the ups on you. You got no weapon. The whole thing is bad from the start. I read articles said the police wanted to arrest them, but they got a call from the district attorney and said, don't arrest them. But those police have to know they still should arrest in that case. I know there are special occasions where, people get off for various things, but this is not one of them. This is literally first-degree murder. It can even be looked at as premeditated. What other reason can you're driving with a shotgun? You weren't in danger. You didn't even know this person. He did nothing to you. He did nothing wrong. And again, it's broad daylight. Man videotapes it. He thinks it's okay. It got released to show for them to say, oh, look, what we did was okay. So when people really saw it, it was like, hey, man, that's not okay. You even got people who are lifelong, supporters of more racist causes who are saying, oh, yeah, this was in the wrong. Now, of course, they're going to come out and try to demonize the man. That's what happens after you die with, you got no voice. You're not talking. You're dead. But they're going to try to demonize them. They're going to try to criminalize them. They're about to try to bring up anything potentially negative occurred in his life. They're going to bring up his family members, and they're going to try to crucify him in the media. And, it's dead wrong. I'm like, the man is deceased. He should be alive. Those people are in the wrong. They just arrested him. And they need to actually get a new attorney, a district attorney, to try it. I heard the man who said he's going to try the case. I'm just listening to him. I can tell he's a redneck individual, and he has no intention on seriously going after these folks for murder. So I'm like, they need to try it somewhere like DeKalb County, in Atlanta area. They need to get, that area it's clear because it took 74 days and worldwide outrage and the viewing of all of us of the video for them to make an arrest, they have no intent of prosecuting that man. See, Attorney Crump is on the civil side. So he's going to sue that department, that whole town. He's going to sue them, and the family's going to get money. And you know, the family getting money is, you know, it's good. That means they know they did wrong, but you really want justice for it. You know, you want justice for it so people can stop doing this stuff. You even, and then you have a case in Indianapolis, Indiana, where a guy named Sean Reed was just shot on camera, on Facebook Live. The police didn't even realize it. You know, you got a situation that just occurred in St. Cloud, right in the Central Florida area, where a man was, I think somebody broke into a house where a man was babysitting, black man babysitting a white child. He fights off a defender and he's running outside with blood on him. Police roll up and see this man and start firing at him. He has no weapons. They just start firing at him, assuming he's in the negative. And, you know, articles in Orlando Sentinel say, oh, yeah, they shot the wrong man. But they shot and killed the wrong man just because he was black, because he's running around. And, you know, I think I just saw somewhere Will Smith said he doesn't think these incidents are new. What's new is that they're more getting caught on camera. And he may be right about that. You know, the technology is out here where people are capturing more things. Most stuff is getting caught on camera. And it's, you know, it's a crying shame. Ben Crump has a book out called Open Season, where he's talking about it's open season on blacks and we need to act on it, get more people in office, like State's Attorney Aramis Ayala. Mind you, in the state of Florida, there are only 20 state's attorneys. 20. Out of 20, you know, there's one black female, one black person. And that's the only black person to be a state attorney in the history of the state of Florida. The only sitting black state attorney in the whole South is here in this area. And she's going out of office, mind you. So, but when you have that person in there, they can look at things from a different lens. See, all these folks that, don't have the melanin we have, they're looking at it saying, well, maybe he should have just complied. And how do you punish somebody for exercising their freedom? We're free. We're free. We're free. But as soon as you do something that's, I don't like what you did, but I'm free to do whatever I want. I'm not doing anything illegal, because anybody, if somebody comes to your door right now and says, open the door, and you say no, if they bust in, they're in the wrong. They can't, so, these folks, and I do think some people are emboldened by the man in the White House. He's not doing any good, He hasn't come out and spoke against it. I think his comments were, I think the state of Georgia will get it together. But I'm like, hell, if they would get it together, they would have arrested him 74 days ago. How you going to say they're going to get it together? That's the problem. We know the Department of Justice is horrible. And they just said they're dropping charges against a man who just pled guilty to lying to the FBI. Heck, he even got ruled on by a judge. I don't even know how you can do that. We're in a state of total insanity, and health-wise, we're worried about the coronavirus. Politically wise, we're worried about the madman in the White House. We're worried about the Supreme Court possibly getting pushed more right, where they'll be trying to strip more of our rights. We're in a fragile state. The elections this year are going to be a stand your ground election. If we either got to band together as strong people. Okay.
Before you go to the election, I want my sister to comment on the Ahmaud Arbery situation, because we definitely got to spend a little bit of time on the election specifically. But, Russell laid out all the things that are wrong with this case, the incestuousness of the attorney, the DA, the investigators, retired police officers, all of this stuff. It's a lot. So, sister, I don't know.
It's hard. It's hard. You are the mother of a son, a black son. You're married to a black man, husband. We obviously have a black father. And I just often think about the fact that these are law-abiding, tax-paying citizens. You know, I think about the safety of my nephew, who is tall, right? And if he, and I, like DL Hughley has said before, the same things, the same physical attributes that make you successful on the football field, or dare I say the basketball court, are the same physical attributes that will get you killed by the police. This young man, Ahmaud Arbery, was obviously in good physical health. And we know that had he been approached by someone who was attempting to violate his civil rights, he would have probably gotten the best of that person. And that's what was obviously happening. You know, it saddens me because even when they pursued him with a shotgun and a handgun, got out of the vehicle, we want to talk to you with a rifle. So you did not go like Russell said, you went out there with the intention of doing something bad. But had Ahmaud wrestled away that gun, and had he shot the person who pursued him first, 74 days would not have passed before he was arrested. I am baffled.
74 hours would not have passed.
Would not have passed before he was arrested. I am baffled at anyone, any white person, and I'm going to say again, white person. I'm baffled at any white person who says you should just comply. Why? Y'all don't comply. Many of y'all don't comply. You ain't even complying with the stay-at-home order. And that ain't even that hard to do. Shit, stay at home. But you want us to always comply, which means as long as we're in service to you, as long as you are, the power structure is such that we have to bend to your will, then we're supposed to comply. And I'm sorry, but I am tired. I looked at this situation and I'm like, there was no winning for this young man. He did nothing wrong. He was pursued with 2, possibly 3 people with guns.
Question though, when people say about complying, you are no officer. You just a regular man in a pickup truck with a gun, and I'm supposed to comply?
Well, here's the thing. Even if you are an officer, so I go back to Sean Bell on his wedding night, coming out of the strip club. If you are an officer, but you're in plain clothes and you talk about, hey, stop. No, I mean, like, we grow up telling our kids stranger danger, don't talk to strangers and stuff like that. So when did it become don't talk to strangers unless you're black? Then if you're black and they're white, you're supposed to stop. You're supposed to listen. You're supposed to ask questions. You're not supposed to really ask questions, but you're supposed to answer whatever questions they have. Like, it's ridiculous. So what is even more ridiculous is Ahmaud Arbery is running, jogging. He passes by a home that is open. These individuals indicate that it was open because it's new construction. He passes by, he goes and looks at that house. You decide that he's a thief. He fits the description of somebody. They said there's been one theft in the area since I believe it was January 1st to February 23rd when this happened. One theft. So who the hell are you talking about? What description did he fit? If it's a home that is open for, it's new construction and it's open, what was he really going to steal? He wouldn't run into no car. He wouldn't put nothing in no vehicle. He passed by and kept jogging. Mind you, Tyrone, Georgia, don't know how far that is from Brunswick or wherever this situation took place. Shannon Brown, former NBA basketball player. 2 white people walk up in his house because his house is for sale. But when your house is for sale, you're not supposed to walk up in my house because you feel like you want to look at it. Because again, white privilege, you think, oh, nice home, it's for sale. Let's go check it out. And we yelled out our intentions. He shoots at you and he gets arrested. Your ass still alive though. But somebody who is looking at new construction? Like, I can't protect my own home. Yes, there is a for sale sign, but you're not with a realtor. You didn't have an appointment. You walk in my house, I shoot at you because I don't know who the hell you are, and I got to protect my family. I get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
But these white guys who actively and purposely pursued this 25-year-old man who did nothing wrong and who was not armed, they don't get arrested until a video comes out. And to Russell's point, and the only reason we see this video is because these assholes put it out because they thought this is going to prove that we were in the right. That's what you actually believe, that you were so spot on in your decision making to grab guns and go after somebody. You had already called 911. Why couldn't you wait till the actual police come? So, and then like you said, the people who've already had to recuse themselves from this case. And Russell, you said something about in the state of Georgia, if the state of Georgia could handle it, if this state of Georgia could handle this, Kemp would not be their governor. So the state of Georgia cannot be relied on to do too many things in this type of circumstance. And when I see this picture of one of the killers decked out in his Trump gear taking a picture, a selfie with Governor Kemp, then I can't trust the state of Georgia to do the right thing. And it is aggravating, and it's irritating, and it's frustrating, and it deeply just saddens me and angers me because, again, there is no winning for losing. I don't know what we're supposed to do. But what I do know is, if I pray God that I am never in that kind of situation, because it ain't going to be no, we shall overcome it. It ain't no marching. It ain't no forgiveness. I'm going to take one for the team because I'm going to go up in there. I don't even know how to shoot a gun, but I will learn, because this has got to stop. You cannot keep doing this to people and destroying families and destroying the Black community. And we're supposed to sit idly by and wait for justice to happen when justice hasn't happened for us. It has not in any of these cases. It hasn't happened.
Well, there's a comment here. It says, always be subservient so you can maintain your sense of superiority based on your lack of self-worth. That is the racist white person's only sense of esteem. But one of the things that we talked about in our Hey Sister show with Charlotte Caples last week about these things being codified in law. And if we go back and look at the law and what was codified in law, when you had slave troopers, right, or whatever they were called, slave catchers, those people could hunt you down, shoot you, kill you, and they had to pay the slave owner for loss of property. And if that is perpetuated, if that's in the fabric of the society, until that's undone, we're going to see more and more. We'll still keep seeing these cases, because there was a video in Rodney King. There's a video.
We've seen video with Sandra Bland. We've seen video with Philando Castile. We've seen video after video, and we believe that is going to change something. We've seen now video with even Alton Sterling. We believe that somehow this video is going to right the wrongs, and it never does. People just find a new excuse because, again, we were just supposed to comply. Mm-hmm. But you can't comply if you're not doing anything wrong.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You're right.
Well, let's talk about let's get into this election, because right now we're in the election season and census 2020, because right now we are in a bit of coronavirus fatigue, right? Even though that there was never a federal coordinated response, even though that more people are going to die because everybody is in a rush to open the economy. And even though there are people like Russell, as this program was going, you went, did your little pick up your food and came on, and there's still things that are happening out there. It's not completely shut down. Yes, people are hurting, and there is a challenge out there in the system, but you know, if you dead or if you in the hospital bed, you can't go to work anyway. So I don't know what people rushing to get back to, but that's a whole aside. But there is still an election going on. The census, folks, how many of you completed your census questionnaire, went online and completed it? If you haven't gone online and completed it, go online and complete it. Yeah, we all did it. So we need to do it. It matters because how these lines are drawn, these districts are made, it all matters. So Russell, before you kind of dive into this topic, I want you to tell the people a little bit about your credentials, because you were the president of the Orange County Black Democratic Caucus here. You've been very involved in the legislative agenda. You're very involved in the community in this effort. So you've been doing this work for some time.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess at the bottom line, I'm a community advocate. I try to advocate for people, you know. I am the immediate past president of the Orange County Democratic Black Caucus, and I'm duly elected first vice president of the state Democratic Black Caucus of Florida. But even aside from that, I mean, my most basic thing was I came here in 2003 to work full time. In 2004, we had a presidential election, and I didn't know who to vote for outside of presidential candidates, right? Like, you know, you got, you know, possibly 60 things on the ballot, from judges to amendments to county commissioners to soil and water supervisor, which is the last thing on there. And there's a lot on there. And I remember going in the booth. Here I am, Howard, HBCU educated, HBCUs. And I go in the booth and all I know is for president. That's the only name I know. And there was somebody next to me in the booth that said, "Hey, do you know who to vote for?" And I was like, "I don't know." And I felt so stupid, you know, I just felt ignorant. And so after that, I just made a commitment to say, I'm going to know everything on this ballot, and I'm going to work to share it with everybody else. So I've, you know, just worked to do that with various groups, and, you know, more recently with the Black Caucus. And, you know, I think that's all it takes, is that wake up moment. So now here we are in an awakening. You know, we literally have somebody in line to let a plague come to the nation, and our lives are in danger. It seems like it might be slowing down, and there's talk about it ramping back up. So we're really in that state of vote or die. You know, vote or die. That's the state we're in right now. You know, and there's some people saying that, you know, some people may vote right down party lines, but it should be of note that 27% of voters in the state of Florida are not with a political party. Not with a political party. In Orange County, I think it may be closer to 31% of voters are not with a political party. So, you know, that clearly you need that 31% to go somewhere. I align myself with the Democratic Party, although I don't agree with 100% of the things that happen with the party, and I won't dare, act like everything that happens is good. I keep it real with them, and my thing is to bring our Black issues to the party. This is the party that most leans towards issues facing Blacks, and Blacks are not a monolithic group. We have so many different things. We're a multiculturalism. Everybody's issue might be different, but it might be similar. So try to bring our issues to the table, and don't and not half-assedly, may I say, you know, in an effective, aggressive manner. My thing is, so many times we go asking for stuff, and my thing is, you need to go and, hey, this is what we need, period. That's that. And, you know, perhaps it helps that I'm, you know, 6'4", 260 pounds, bald-headed and bearded, that some folks be like, okay, you know, let's listen to this guy, you know. But, you know, as you know, I'm a prayerful man. So, the physical demeanor may be intimidating, but no, I'm a prayerful hand, and I have prayerful hands. They get jobs done.
Well, I know with us, this election season is, I mean, for me, the last election was pretty much, regardless of where you sit on the political spectrum, for me, there was only one choice. Unfortunately, that choice did not win, because I will take someone who speaks in complete sentences and who could probably pass my high school English class over someone who absolutely has not only a lack of knowledge, because see, with a lack of knowledge, that can be overcome. Ignorance can be overcome any day if you have a willingness to learn. But someone who also has no willingness to learn, and who has demonstrated a complete inability to say, I don't know, but let me find out. I mean, the lack of leadership, basic leadership things. So now we're down to two. We're down to Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Sister. And now we have a woman coming for Joe Biden, who is also, that's questionable. But at this case, at this point,
yeah, I mean, there's a woman coming from Joe Biden.
Does it even matter? Because 20 of them came for Donald Trump.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, there's a woman coming for Joe Biden, but there's 20 that already came for Donald Trump. And if we're not, I'm at the place of, if we're gonna play tit for tat, let's play tit for tat. Right? If we're going to bring up Tara Reid, then let's bring up all of the 20. Because one of the things I believe that Hillary Clinton failed on was when, as I think I stated before, when Donald Trump paraded those women into that debate that supposedly had been harassed by former President Bill Clinton, she should have addressed that. And she should have addressed that on the strength of, boy, don't play with me. Don't play with me. You got the right one on the wrong day. But she didn't. And so he knew he could use that to intimidate her. And he did. So the question is Joe Biden going to allow the narrative to be shaped with this one woman? Five, whatever, or is he going to fight fire with fire? And, some people will say that that's not the right approach, or that's not the right thing to do. But at this point, look, I am through at every level of throughness. I am through with Donald Trump. I am through with Donald Trump. Because at the end of the day, what I believe deep in my spirit, and we've alluded to the greatness of the Obamas, but what I believe deep in my spirit is, number one, if Barack Obama was the exact same man in a white body, even the staunchest racists or the staunchest rednecks or the staunchest Republicans would say, I don't agree with his politics, but I like that Barack Obama. There's something about him I like. They would have found something positive about him if he embodied a white body, had a white wife with white kids and a white dog. But because he's a black man with a black wife, with 2 black children and a black dog, they have found every excuse imaginable for why they cannot like him or don't like him. What I feel very deeply is that Barack Obama, whether you agreed with his politics, was a good man, is a good man. I do not feel that way about Donald Trump. I do not feel like he's a good man, period. I feel like he has bad intentions. I feel like he is, obviously has cheated on his wife multiple times. He's cheated on every wife that he's had. He has multiple, again, you have 25 women accusing you of sexual assault. The level of vulgarity that you have displayed even before getting into the White House. So I'm through with him. Now, Joe Biden, personally, right now, my feelings are I need to see a little bit more from you, Joe. I don't know what you're over there doing. Maybe I'm supposed to be jumping on your Twitter page every day. But what I know for sure is in 2016, as much as I do not like Donald Trump, and dare I say hate, because earlier you said that hate means that I have to have some level of admiration for, and there is none there. But as much as I do not like Donald Trump, he manipulated and he played the media. And the media is the one area where he talks so awful about media. And he has created this narrative that, the whole fake news thing and all of this stuff. But he played the media so well. So many of them. I blame them. I blame, like I said, I love George Stephanopoulos, but I blame you. Because every time he called up to ABC, you were interviewing him on Good Morning America. So for me, I know we're in this pandemic and we have to stay at home, but that's what I feel like I'm missing right now with Joe Biden. I'm not seeing you play the media in that same way. And you're not constantly talking about the failures of this administration when it comes to how this virus has been proliferated across the world, and in how it has, this first world country, this supposedly wealthiest country in the world, has had the worst response, a failed response. I cannot believe we're not talking about that and highlighting that more as we go into November. Because people's memories are short.
Highlighting it every day. There are some things that should be being highlighted every day. And like you said, maybe it's deep in the Twitter feed. I'm not seeing a lot of it as well. I don't know if there's some sort of strategy waiting to build the momentum when we announce the vice presidential candidate. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, it's leaving some of us wanting at this point. So we got work to do, but there is still an election going on. And to the conversation we had about Ahmaud Arbery, you have more than just the presidential election at stake.
Yes.
It is district attorneys, it's mayors, it's
sheriff, police commissioners.
Like he said, soil and water, it's city commissioners, city council, school board.
Yeah.
There's so many things that are at stake in this 2020 election season that you can't take any of it for granted. And I'm saying find some good quality candidates. Vote for some good quality candidates. Vote for people who can complete sentences. Vote for people who show genuine concern. Vote for people who are intellectually curious.
Yeah.
I mean, those are some of the things that are just basic things. And so I guess he dropped off for a second, but he's back. Hopefully you heard some of that. When people are talking about election time, what should people be looking for when they get ready to cast their ballot?
They should be looking for people that are upfront with them, right? Upfront with them and relatable to them. They should be looking for folks that are familiar, that have not just come around for the time being. The biggest complaint you get is that you only come around at this time of the year. You look at people with their consistency and their efforts. You look at it and you think about it. There are some people in elected office who consistently do stuff for your community. Some people may even get on them and say, "Oh, you're posting too much. You're doing too much." But it's like, if they didn't do too much, then they wouldn't be doing enough. So, you look for the people who are putting in the time and the effort consistently, not just coming to the cookout, not just coming to the sorority meeting, one day a year and saying, "Hey, remember me?" And the real answer is, no, we don't. We don't know you. We're unfamiliar with you. You look for people who are going to bring some economic empowerment. I had a realization a couple years ago and realized, our real thing in politics we're suffering from is economics. Financial literacy is the problem. And Dimitri, I know you've been preaching this for years. We're financially illiterate. Many of us are only one generation or two generations away from poverty. And I'm not talking about poverty like living on the street. I'm talking about the working poor. People who are living paycheck to paycheck, lights cut off, water cut off, the hunger pains that people are getting because they got to send their kids to school and make sure they're getting food and getting clothing. We're many of us are like that, and it's interesting. While the urge to get the government to open back up, that's really all saying that I'm finally at this same level of being out of work with these Black people. When many of us have been out of work or got relatives who've been laid off, not been able to get insurance, it's been a regular thing for us. So finally, a lot of whites and Blacks are at the same level. Oh, they can't handle it anymore. That's why you got all these people storming the capitals in Michigan and California with weapons, talking about, I need a haircut. I need a haircut. While we demonize a man like Colin Kaepernick, who took a peaceful protest of a knee. So people can't tolerate just for a pandemic being in the same boat as Blacks. And that needs to be a consideration in this election season. Who's out here being silent about the stuff and who's out here making noise and letting you know I relate to you. Silence is consent. Sometimes, I get silence can be golden, but more often than not, it's consent. That means I'm just not going to say anything because it doesn't involve me. And I got, it's like I got to question folks like that. Well, why are you so silent about it? Why are you being so quiet?
I don't mean to stop you, but I want to ask you a question because to your point, it's not enough for for politicians to pop up and come to the cookouts. And, very often there are those white, Black, brown, otherwise who believe that we are easily swayed by the politician who comes to the cookout or who, as they said about, I read recently someone like, oh, Black people, you always voted for Hillary Clinton because she had hot sauce in her bag. Like it's that idea that we are so ignorant and easily swayed. But when I go to a website, of course, they're only going to say flowery things or nice things on the website. When they come to the church, they're only going to say the good stuff that they want us to hear. How do we really understand who these people are? Because to your point, very often when I go in the booth, I have absolutely no idea. And that's after I've read the pamphlets that have come to my house, because everybody sounds good if they're the ones writing their own, or they have a PR person. So how do we get to the heart of who these people really are?
That's a very good question. And you know what? Y'all look so much alike right here in this view. I'm going to say the real answer is people always tell you to follow the money. So the real question is about the money. People will say, we care about you, we love you, we this. But the golden question is, when are you going to show our community the money, and how are you going to give us an economic path forward? And when they don't have an answer, which many of them don't, they should be booed and booted out the door, even if they look like us. Where is the money? How are you going to trickle the dollars down? Politics is how much and who gets it. How much and who gets it. How are you going to put some economic stuff in this community to keep it growing? We have a crime problem. People don't feel like they have opportunities. How are you going to help them? How are you going to help get some incubators in here to help these people learn about entrepreneurship? Why aren't there entrepreneurship things in the school system? What are you doing to help Black people economically? And when they're stifled and they're shocked by it, they're going to start talking around in circles, and we can't let them off the hook. And also to help you, I will tell you, we innovated a sheet called Vote the Whole Ballot. We even created a website called votethewholeballot.com that kind of, it didn't tell you who to vote for, but it told you our suggestions and our preferences. And we basically keep stats on people about, who not just attends to cookouts, but who has these town hall meetings, who helps put some stuff. I'll tell you right now, property appraiser Rick Singh has put on at least 4 economic programs in the Washington Shores, Richmond Heights community. And, there have been some people to come out, but not as many as you would hope. But he's put them on, he's put on the programs. And because more of our community, with
rather go to something like Funk Fest and spend a bunch of money instead of coming to an economic program and learn about how to make enough money to put on your own Funk Fest. You know, that's, you know, he's still trying to put it on. You know, we got groups that are doing good things. You know, the Chamber of Commerce is doing good things and reaching out to people. They're going to have a political hobnob. Again, there's an opportunity for people to ask questions. I think just specific questions about economics. We've heard the stories about people saying, oh, I love Martin Luther King. Well, here's the thing. Dr. King, one, was killed. Everybody forgets to say that. I love Dr. King. I love his message. He got killed. And why did he get killed? At the end of his life, he was talking about economics. He was talking about the equity that we need in the dollars. Black people and women not getting paid enough. He was talking about that stuff. That's what got him killed. When you start talking about money, then whoa. You know, you can vote. Yeah, okay, you can do that. You know, okay, you want to vote earlier. You want to be in more blacks in office. Okay, we want money. No. That's the answer right there. Everybody needs to understand put economic at the top before trying to get political stuff. You know, I'm down for the fight, but the fight is bigger than just saying, you know, we've been around for 100+ years in these civic groups, and we want to march for pride. We want dignity. We want more people in office. No, we want money to trickle down in our communities. That's what we want on a consistent basis. You know, even in the discussion about reparations, I'm down for it. I don't know if it's going to come, you know, sooner or later, but if you just give us economic opportunity, that's all people want. Just the opportunity. So, you know, it's like, why can a black man or black woman get a $60,000 loan to get a luxury vehicle, but can't even get a $10,000 loan for a startup business? Stuff like that. You know, why? But if you go in there and say, yeah, I need it for a car, I'll sign up right now. You know, but for a business, no, not happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, let's talk about that a little bit more. And one of the things that you're doing now, and for those of you who are still watching, we thank you. We welcome you to Hey Sister. We're having a lengthy hot topics conversation tonight because we just have a lot of things to talk about. And, you know, we just finished wrapping up our conversation about the election season. The Census 2020, complete your census form. Like Russell said, connect with groups so you can find out what's on the ballot in your area, who's running for what, and start paying attention to what their moves are in the community, because that's where the rubber meets the road. And then when you know what their moves are in the community, then you have something you can hold them accountable to. Those promises. You can have conversations about accountability. We also talked about the Ahmaud Arbery case. And how we're all paying attention to that, and it's really it's a struggle for us, for all three of us for sure, and probably for many of you out there. But one of the things that Russell is doing, because he's talking about economic opportunity, and I am very, very big on this conversation about economic opportunity. What I also know is that within the community, and we're talking about any community, we're from a small town called Thibodaux, Louisiana. As our guest last week said, all the isms, it's a race and conversation. If we could get over that race part, the collective community, the economic system of that community could work so much more better for the benefit of all the people in the community, because the resources are there, they are available. But when you don't want to share in those resources, it makes things more difficult and challenging, and everybody stays a little bit oppressed and suppressed. But one of the things that you're doing, because I believe in the Black Wall Street, because it's existed before, it can exist again in every city in this country. I believe in Wakanda and building Wakanda, because the talent, the knowledge, the skills, ability is there, but we have to invest in one another. So I see you over there testifying. One of the things Russell's been doing around the Orlando area is a Black business tour, and he's about up to his 100th business. And I just want to say kudos to you. So let's give him some love on that. For even just having the foresight to say, you know what, I'm going to go around, I'm going to use the platform that I have to spotlight, to highlight other Black businesses in this community. And you've been doing it so well that even the African American Chamber of Commerce here, they publish your list of what restaurants we should be venturing out to. And they are using your model. And so what spurred that on? I think it probably is related to this conversation you were having about politics. Economy matters.
It does. It does. The economy matters. Black dollars matter. So it started February 1st of this year, right? Every Black History Month on social media, I post a Black history fact. I've done so for 15 years through different mediums of social media, going back to MySpace, even Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So have done that for 15 years. Here we are in a new decade, right? A fifth of the way through the century. And I said, you know, it's time for an upgrade. So I was calling it Black History Month Upgrade. I'm gonna, for 29 days in Black History Month, because it's a leap year, I'm gonna support a Black business every day and I'm gonna highlight it. And, you know, first, I didn't even know if I could do it. But I said, you know what? The only way you do something is try. So, you know, I was like, I've been here long enough. I should know enough businesses I could patronize. And first, it was really tough because, you know, I'd have to get off of work and find a business to go to. And many of our Black businesses aren't open, you know, all night or anything like that. There's only a couple that have, you know, a whole-time liquor license, and they're open till like 2 a.m. or something. So it took a while, you know, I was working and grinding, and then, you know, I was writing them out. And then I want to say after about the 6th day or 9th day, the Chamber of Commerce had a mixer at the Mercedes-Benz of South Orlando. And there were about 8 business owners there that were Black. And I was able to get their info and get dates to feature them. Even the owner, Dorian Boylan, was like, yeah, he's on board. Mind you, he ain't on social media. So then it started taking off and started getting popular. And the Chamber of Commerce I'm a member of, and a person like yourself, Dr. Sloan, has empowered me about the economics of it all. And, you know, so I've continued. I look at it as like I'm on a stretch project with the Chamber of Commerce, who's taking the time and resources to feature the businesses. You know, oftentimes people worry about who gets the credit, right? My thing is bigger than that. If you want to leave something here after you're gone, then you got to get with some structure that has something in place that could be there. You know, we got the coronavirus literally dropping people every day. I want something that can be lasting and can be transferred and put into different things. So, you know, I've gone, and initially I was like, let me do it the whole month of February. As I got closer to the end of the month, I was like, I got too many businesses left. I'm going to have to go into March. And then, you know, I was going into March and then getting close to 60 days. And my fraternity brother, Richard Moore, who's an educator, said, you know, brother, nobody remembers Wilt Chamberlain for scoring 60 points. They remember him for scoring 100 points. And I was like, what are you getting at? And he was like, you got to go to 100. And I was like, what? I was like, how am I going to get to 100? Here I am at day 99. So, you know, and, you know, as I knock at the door of 100, people are saying, what are you going to do after 100? Well, I'm going to tell you on this show, what's better than 100? 2. So onward to 200. Let's go, you know, and there are more businesses to feature. And see, I was trying to patronize them, right? Saying I can give money to all of them and buy something and do this. But then I also got brought to my attention, you know, advertisement is a way of patronizing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what do you mean? They were like, yeah, because, you know, my posts are reaching up to maybe, you know, 10,000 people or more. Maybe it depends. I got a lot of followers. I've been on social media since it got started. And so, you know, I got a big following, and some in town, some out of town. But I'll give you a prime example. So last week I featured a suit company in Lake Mary, Black-owned suit company called It Suits Me. You know, and I patronized them because, you know, I needed a new suit, got a new suit, and I was getting fitted for it. A guy came in yesterday. He said he drove all the way up from Tampa because he saw the post that we posted. And I was like, wait, brother, you drove up in the coronavirus from Tampa First, get away from me. Second, you know. But yeah, he was like, yeah, he said, I saw all the pictures, I saw the detail, and I said, I haven't seen this kind of suits in a while, so I need to buy them. This man went in there and literally bought 3 suits. And, you know, like it's things like that, that it's a win-win for me. It's like if I'm reaching people and letting you know places that you like to patronize, and I can help these business owners. Now, again, when I started this, you know, we didn't know nothing about the coronavirus, although the man in the White House did, but we didn't know nothing about it, you know, as a place. So it's helped some businesses even stay afloat, because in this tough time, you know, people have been like, you know, I can only do limited things. So it helped when the Chamber of Commerce put together a list for that 407 day of restaurants that were Black owned to patronize. And now we got more that we could put on there and add to it. So, you know, it's a, you know, I think it's a, you know, it's a good thing that started out with some during Black History Month, and it's evolved into almost a Black business tour. And you know, I'll see where it takes me. But I'm glad to have a group like the Chamber of Commerce that, you know, wants to work with it. And we'll see if some other groups are ready to work with it as well. And much credit again to the Chamber of Commerce, Tanisha Gary, and her leadership team. They're doing wonderful things. And I thank you, because you're one of the people that got me to the chamber. I remember I kept paying double the fee to get into events, and you were like, well, if you just join the chamber, you wouldn't have to pay this much. And I was like, here.
Yes, I was an ambassador with the African American Chamber of Commerce, and I said that, and I think I probably collected your money that day and signed you up. And I love that you have continued to stay on as a member and doing this. And I know my sister and I, part of what we do here on Hey Sister is try to show the possibilities when we support each other and when we come together collectively and when we pour into one another. And so, like you said, it doesn't cost anything to like, follow, and share. And that's what we want y'all to do. We want you to like, follow, and share Hey Sister. We want you to be a part of our family and join in the movement, in the conversations that we're having. This has been a very good conversation. I needed this conversation for my spirit. I don't know. What about you, sister?
I agree. And I love what you're doing with your business tour, Black Business Tour. We did something similar. We only did it in December for about 20 days, but we had a cheerful giveaway for Hey Sister, and where we patronize Black-owned businesses, women-owned businesses. Most of them were Black and women-owned businesses, but we've made some good relationships. And, you know, there's so much that we can do. And like you said, advertising is highly important. It doesn't cost anything to like, follow, share, or to create a post and highlight those businesses that you really like. So I think this was definitely a good conversation. So I appreciate you, Mr. Russell, for coming on and joining us and giving us some humor and insight as well.
Yes.
And I think
any closing remarks, Russell?
I'll say closing remarks is this. Again, it's Mother's Day, and I'm grateful for the great queen I came from and all the other queens and princesses around the nation and world who continue to blaze trails and provide motherly guidance, whether it's their child or not. But women, you know, women are the, you know, outside of God, women are the greatest creations and have continued to display it and deserve to be treated as such. So, you know, with all respect to women on this Mother's Day. And hey, economics is the key. I'm going to continue to push these Black businesses. I got a mantra that says I will not stop. And I send one love to all of you. And I thank you for the time and the opportunity. And y'all really look so much alike. God bless you.
Well, Russell, we thank you. I'm going to ask Russell and Christina to hold the line as we end the broadcast. Thank you, everyone who tuned in, dropped in the comments. This will be up on our YouTube channel tomorrow, so you can watch the replay in full and don't miss anything. And tonight we're signing off. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.